you think of your pitchers?
Thought they both threw the ball really well. Really proud of the way Clayton threw the ball. And Micah followed it up and commanded the ball really well, and fun to watch.
What do you kind of want to see out of Mike, like to get him back into a starting role, or do you kind of like him where he's at, or do you just kind of see how things progress as the year goes on?
We'll let that evolve. I mean, really right now is our pitch count's right where we needed to be today, and you could extend him a little more, obviously, and he's going to want to compete, and what I mean by that is he's going to want to start. At the same time, I think Mike will do what's best for the team, and today it worked out pretty good the way it worked.
Do you have to have a different type of approach pitching when it comes to relief versus starter? Because again, you had reliever at a starter spot, and then a starter last year at a reliever spot.
I don't know that there's a stock answer for that. I think each guy's his own individual. I think guys that can pitch, whether it's as a starter or a reliever. I think you go look at most big league rosters, those guys that pitch in the big leagues started at one time. And so, but at the same time, I wish coaching was as easy as saying, hey, this is the answer for every guy that ever pitched. It's not that easy.
How much does seeing Clayton be able to go 68 pitches, only 2 hits, how much does that reinforce in your mind that he's a compelling option as a starting pitcher?
Well, we ran him out there in game 1 because he's got great composure, great makeup, power stuff. He's got a chance to do that, and he got a chance to make it look pretty easy at times.
What specifically allowed Micah to be so efficient out of the bullpen? I don't think he allowed anyone on base.
I would say fastball command, threw the slider where he wanted to. It kind of just did what he normally does. Just a little bit shorter pitch count.
Was that kind of your Clayton going 6, Mike going 3? Was that kind of what you had hoped or pictured today, or did you have other guys that you went to see out of the bullpen was throwing so well that?
Yeah, with
no
4 games in the weekend, we needed to be as efficient as we could today, if possible, and so it's really cool to see both guys get us off to the right start as far as that goes.
Anytime you have the last name Young, obviously there are expectations around this program. How do you think Jace did? He made a couple nice plays in the field and also went 2 for 3 at the plate.
Yeah, for opening day, I thought he really handled himself really well and barreled a couple balls, and it was fun to watch him. And you're right. I mean, he's lived with that his whole life, though, so it's kind of, I don't think it phases him.
What else did you like, either offensively or in the field?
Yeah, I think more than anything is opening day and the value and being able to compete against another team. The value and understanding that, the challenge of the game, playing it 1 pitch at a time through 9 innings. I think I like the way, just the ability to get one under our belt. And what I mean by that is being able to play and kind of knock the nerves out a little bit.
The fact that it didn't warm up weather-wise as early as it was expected to, was there for you?
I didn't even notice.
Was there any consideration to not playing today?
We didn't consider it at all, no. These guys, our guys would have thought we were crazy. So we once the games start, you try to go, hey, there's no weather in baseball. It's a lot easier if you're playing probably, though, quite honestly.
Is that opening day you talked about, is that kind of a wild card game of the year? Because you can have as many inner squads as you want, but once you get out there, it could take a couple innings or so on and so forth to get going a little bit.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's we really like this first 3 weeks, the way it sets up. I mean, it's kind of it's not your standard series each weekend. It's kind of each game's a game of itself and kind of how they evolve. But I don't think we really ever know how guys are going to respond opening day. And you could say the same thing about just some of the young guys in general. It's it is college baseball, and it's a little bit quicker for some of them, so it'll be fun to watch them.
How did Cam and Floyd and Lanning get picked for first pitch duty?
Those guys did an awful lot for our program over the last few years. I guess Floyd was only here 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Cam was here, so those guys deserve that honor and earn that honor. And I'm pretty sure Ty and Gio and Kirby and all them probably had something to do with them throwing out the first pitch.
Are Cam and Floyd, they about to go to spring training?
They would be, yes, sir. Yep, couple weeks.
Is Erickson still in school, or what's he doing?
He's still in school.
What, so what went into him not pitching, or what was he not on the team?
Injury, career ending.
Elbow or what?
We'd have to go ask him. I'm probably not supposed to say.
You talked about Drew. He didn't really have anything on it. He said he had surgery, right? He didn't really have anything on his knee. Chances you get him for this weekend, or maybe going forward? Is it just kind of a week by week thing and trying to figure it out?
He mentioned yesterday he thought he was 100%. Now he had his knee scoped 3 weeks ago, and so might have been 3.5 weeks ago. So we're not going to put any limits on him. If he says he can run, says he can play, we'll do that. He hasn't seen a lot of live pitching yet, so that'll be a game time decision.
You were talking yesterday about the depth that you guys have and the options that y'all have at multiple positions. How tomorrow, how many guys that we didn't see today are likely to be in the lineup?
Yeah, we really hadn't gotten there yet as far as what we'll do there. I would say Max looked like he was a little more dinged up than we thought when he's running the bunt out, and so there'll probably be a time for him to get to where he's 100%, and so definitely one spot.
Don't give up on the run.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for this whole week, and the excitement was definitely building up the whole time. It's a lot of fun.
Coach mentioned that any guy in the majors who maybe a relief pitcher has started at some point. How much starting experience did you have in high school?
I started every week in high school, just like pretty much everybody here, so it was not very new, but it's just new at this level.
Is there a mental adjustment you have to make when you come out of the bullpen, maybe in the 8th or 9th inning, versus when you're starting first inning?
Really, it's just the bullpen. You don't have a lot of time to think about it. You just get hot and go in. And starting, it's a lot more mental, in my opinion, of trying to hone in your focus and not really think about the noise and everything like that.
What was working for you today, or was it all working for you?
We just had a good plan of going right at them and not trying to do anything fancy, and just filling up the zone, and that was what was working pretty much.
Do you remember when it was that you had your Tommy John? What month that was in?
Yes, sir. It was in December of 2017.
Okay.
So I'm right above 2 years out of it.
And either in the fall or since y'all have come back in the spring, how have you kind of progressed in terms of getting length and stretched out to get ready to start?
We kind of just all do the same thing. We have a good I guess, plan of kind of building on pitches each week in our inter squads. I think we get 3 or 4 inter squads right before the season, so we're throwing over Christmas break, and then when we come here, we're ready to throw 2 innings, and then we just kind of add an inning each week.
Is there a different way you prepare and practice when you're maybe starting versus relieving, or is it all kind of the same thing in terms of practice?
I'd say it's all the same. I mean, you want to be your best no matter what role you're in, and once you get on the mound, it's kind of competing against yourself, really. It's all pitching. It's no matter what inning it is.
So when they tell you you're starting, it doesn't change the way, like, you don't try to throw more pitches in practice or something like that to get that type of stamina. It's kind of all the same.
That's kind of like what I was telling him about just the inter squads in the weeks before leading up. Like, some guys will only throw 2 innings, and then some guys will throw 4, and just to try to build their stamina.
Did you kind of have an idea then that you were moving towards being a starter, even though your job last year was a reliever?
I just thought maybe I'd be coming out of the pen like Micah did today, going 3 innings or starting if I needed to. I didn't really try to think about it much.
What's it like catching or pitching to Braxton? How much easier does he make things for you?
A lot. I love throwing to Braxton. I told him last week, I was like, this is an inter-squad dude, and this is the best catching performance I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's awesome. It really takes a lot of pressure off us, and it's just we don't really have to think about any of the nuances with the catcher. We just focus on ourselves.
How comfortable did you feel going into that 5th and 6th inning with your arm?
I felt pretty good, yeah. It's just, matter of staying warm in between innings. But, yeah.
When did y'all first start talking about the possibility of you starting, or did you kind of feel like that was the plan all along once you got some time between your surgery, once you got some distance from the surgery?
I came back in the fall, and they kind of tell all of us, like, work your hardest, and anything can happen. Everybody has the option, I guess, or the possibility. It's never out of the question.
So, Micah, how good did it feel to, get back out there?
Yeah, arm feels great. It's just exciting being able to play out here in front of these fans, and just love playing the game of baseball. So yeah, it felt amazing.
What was working so well for you today?
I think Tadlock already went on this, but my fastball command was kind of where I wanted it, and my slider was moving pretty decently. So,
For you, how much experience do you have in that relief position?
Last year for about a month, or I think after the Texas series is when I started to start. So I was out of the pen at the beginning of last year. So not a whole lot, but it's there. Yeah.
Is there a difference?
I don't know. As a starter, you kind of feel like that you have to, I don't know, you're going the distance. But as a reliever, I feel like you can just come in there and just shut it down, and you kind of have this different swagger to you. Just you're in there to shut down the game.
And Tim said yesterday when we asked him why you weren't starting this weekend, he said you hadn't kind of built your innings up yet, hadn't kind of stretched out. What was the reason for that? I know they said you didn't throw last weekend.
Yeah, just a little dinged up, but it was just a little soreness, and so I didn't pitch last weekend just because they wanted to be on the safe side, which I think is the right decision. So I didn't pitch then, and so I skipped a scrimmage, and so they didn't want to roll me back out there without the innings and the pitch count. So yeah.
Given your success last year as a Friday night guy, you still think of yourself as a starter, and that's still what you're aspiring to, or?
When it's said and done, it's what the coaches put me as, and so anything that's going to help my team win, I see me out there as a pitcher. So I just love going out there and pitch.
How much easier is everything year 2 now? Like with an off season of preparing and kind of knowing how it's going to be pitching at this level, do you feel like a lot more comfortable?
Yeah, especially with the amount of innings I have under my belt. I think that that's helped me mature in the mental aspect of the game, and physically I feel like I've gotten better because of that. And so just my approach, I would say, is what makes me a lot more comfortable out there too.
How quickly did you feel like you were in a groove on the mound today?
Oh, after the first pitch, for me, after the first pitch, you know if you're going to be there or not, and it felt good. So,
what is that feeling difference between after that first pitch where you're like, oh yeah, I got to work into this a little bit?
Honestly, it's just even when you feel like you missed your spot, it somehow still goes to where you wanted to throw it, and so that's kind of what I had today, except for one pitch. Clearly, it got away from me, but it gives that confidence and some swagger up there that, I'm going to get you out no matter what. So,
is there any added difficulty to playing in the cold in any way, shape, or form?
Oh, for sure it's difficult, but I would say it's an advantage to the pitchers, because if you're up there and someone's throwing 93 as a batter and it gets in on your hands, that's not going to feel good. So, you have to be mentally strong as a batter, I would say, more than a pitcher, because, we get to warm up in between and get our arms nice and loose. So, yeah, I think it's an advantage for the pitchers.
I heard Tim said on the pregame show that the relievers, some of the bullpen guys might need to stay inside because of the cold. I didn't notice. How did you get hot before you went in?
I went to the bullpen around the 6th inning, so I was in our little dugout deal with air conditioning. So I was staying warm on the bike, doing my exercises because I kind of knew I was coming in, but Beater was throwing so well that I kept getting pushed back because his pitch count was so low. So good. I mean, I'm very proud of the way that he threw today. It was really good. Just help us keep more pitches for the weekend with the 4-game series. But yeah, so I was just in there doing all my exercises to stay warm.
What's the ball gripping process like when it's cold? Because I know a lot of us, when we walk outside, we can't feel our hands. What's it like out there on the mound for you?
I mean, we've been doing this for so long that it's kind of just like, it's just a feeling like it's, I don't know. I mean, it helps when you're warm coming out of the dugout, but yeah, definitely when you're out there for a little bit, you're gonna have to blow on your hands to keep it warm. So, but I mean, even if you really don't have much feeling, it's still just muscle memory kind of.
Of course, last year as a starter, you showed a good bit of emotion in key moments,
Mhm.
and you're pretty fired up.
Mhm.
So if they do decide to use you as a pen, you'd be a guy who could really air it out and go well in a short burst, right?
Mhm.
Given the adrenaline and situations.
Yeah, I love the adrenaline rush from pitching. It's something I can't even describe. It's just when I go out there, I put everything I have, and so I give it my all. And if my emotion comes out, then it comes out. But yeah, I think it fires up the team and some fans a little bit. But